left the curtains half unfolded and let the morning choose its pace. No list of places waiting for us, no reason to prepare the day. The coffee cooled beside the paper, the clock kept moving on its own. For once the hours did not need us to make them matter as they passed. It was a Sunday without plans, nothing missing, nothing late, just the sunlight crossing slowly and the comfort of your face. It was a Sunday without plans, and somehow everything felt full. We talked about the neighbor's garden and laughed about a crooked chair. You read a page and then forgot it. I watched the quiet fill the air. No photograph could hold the feeling, no grand occasion had to come. It was a Sunday without plans, nothing missing, nothing late, just the sunlight crossing slowly and the comfort of your face. It was a Sunday without plans, and somehow everything felt full. Happiness can enter softly when we stop arranging it. It was a Sunday without plans, and I would choose it once again. For the easy way you stayed there, for the peace that needed no name. It was a Sunday without plans, and it was more than enough. The rain began before you answered and settled softly on the street. You held your coat across your shoulders, but never moved toward leaving me. The room was warm, the hour was late, and neither one of us could speak. I knew the night would end eventually, I only wished it would not yet. Stay until the rain is gone. You do not have to promise more. Just let the water fill the silence and keep your shadow by the door. is all I ask tonight. We talked about the smallest things, the books we never finished reading. You smiled as though the past was harmless, and I pretended to believe it. But every drop against the glass was counting down the time we had. Stay until the rain is gone. You do not have to promise more. Just let the water fill the silence and keep your shadow by the door. Stay until the rain is gone. That is all I ask tonight. Some goodbyes arrive too early, even when we know they must. Stay until the rain is gone, until the street becomes still. Let me remember how it felt before the distance became real. Stay until the rain is gone, then I will let you leave. The year has taken more than expected and left a few things out of place. The garden missed its early blossoms. The hallway lost a familiar face. But morning still comes through the curtains, and someone calls to ask about my day. Not everything survives unchanged, but not everything is gone. Some happiness remains in the bread still warm at noon, in a song I almost forgotten, in the flowers finding room. Some happiness remains, small enough to miss, but strong enough to stay. The plans we made have changed their shape now, and some will never come around. But laughter still arrives unplanned and fills the quiet with its sound. A hand still reaches for another, a tired heart still learns to hope. Some happiness remains in the bread still warm at noon, in a song I almost forgotten, in the flowers finding room. Some happiness remains in the life that carries on, in the kindness freely offered, and the courage to belong. Some happiness remains, and today I choose to notice it. I saw you standing near the corner, laughing with someone I did not know. Your hands were moving as you talked, the way they did so long ago. I stayed across the crowded room and let the moment pass unseen. There was no reason to approach you, no unfinished word to give. You look happy from here, and I am glad the years were kind. There is something almost peaceful in knowing you have found your life. You look happy from here, and I think I can be too. For once the past did not come rushing or ask me what we could have been. I only saw the way you listened and how easily you smiled again. The ache was smaller than before, more like a door that gently closed. You look happy from here, and I am glad the years were kind. There is something almost peaceful in knowing you have found your life. You look happy from here, and I think I can be too. Some love does not return, it simply learns to wish you well. You look happy from here, and that is all I need to know. The part of me that once held tightly can finally loosen and let go. You look happy from here, and I can leave with something warm. She kept the blue dress in the wardrobe behind the coat she rarely wore. The color had begun to soften, lighter than before. She had not worn it in a decade, but never thought to give it away. Some things remain without a reason until the reason finds its name. She kept the blue dress, not for the night she wore it last, not for the music or the dancing or the man who belonged to the past. She kept the blue dress for the woman she had been. She remembered standing by the mirror, unsure of how the evening would go. Her sister fixed the folded collar and told her she looked beautiful. That was before the years grew crowded, before she learned to doubt herself. She kept the blue dress, not for the night she wore it last, not for the music or the dancing or the man who belonged to the past. She kept the blue dress for the woman she had been. Sometimes what we save is not a memory, but proof that we were brave. She kept the blue dress until one quiet afternoon. She wore it once before the mirror and smiled at what the years could not remove. She kept the blue dress and found herself again. I answered every invitation and knew exactly when to smile. I asked the questions people wanted and stayed a little while. The room was full, the voices warm. I never seemed to be alone. Some hearts become so practiced at hiding what they need. No one knew I was lonely. I wore the evening well. I left before the silence and kept the ache to myself. No one knew I was lonely. I barely knew it too. I walked back through the quiet hallway and turned the little lamp on low. The coat I wore was still beside me, but all the warmth was gone. I heard the laughter in my memory, then watched the empty room person finally did. I sometimes think about the doorway I stood beside so long ago, the train I watched without boarding, the answer I was scared to know. Another town, another morning, another name upon the mail. There are roads we never travel that still follow us somehow. That was the life I almost chose. The room, the road, the different view. 1,000 ordinary mornings I might have spent beside someone new. That was the life I almost chose. And sometimes I still wonder, I picture curtains in a small room, a kettle singing before dawn, a garden that I might have planted, a place where I had once belonged. But every life is partly absence, every yes becomes a no. That was the life I almost chose. The room, the road, the different view. 1,000 ordinary mornings I might have spent beside someone new. That was the life I almost chose. And sometimes I still wonder, regret is not always sorrow. Sometimes it is only curiosity. That was the life I almost chose, and still I do not call it wrong. The road I took became my story. The road I missed still hums along. That was the life I almost chose, and I can let it remain. There was a table near the doorway where afternoon would fall across. You always chose the chair beside it, so you could watch the people pass. The waiter knew your usual order and brought it before you had to ask. Some places keep the shape of people they are gone. At the table near the door, I can almost hear you laughing. I can see your hand around the cup, and the way you watched the street. At the table near the door, the years feel very close. The walls have changed their faded color. The menu carries different names. A younger couple sits together where we once divided up the day. No one knows the room remembers, or what that corner used to hold. At the table near the door, I can almost hear you laughing. I can see your hand around the cup, and the way you watched the street. At the table near the door, the years feel very close. A place can lose its details and still remember how we felt. At the table near the door, I no longer ask for yesterday. I only let the moment find me, then quietly continue on my way. At the table near the door, I leave the memory warm. I thought the years had made it smaller, a name I rarely had to hear, a room I passed without remembering, a voice that no longer felt near. I filled my days with newer stories and learned to leave the past behind. But memory does not always follow the order we decide. You were the last thing on my mind until the night became too still. Then every quiet part remembered what I thought the years had healed. You were the last thing on my mind, and suddenly the first. It was not sorrow that returned me, was the way the house grew silent when all the evening lights went down. A sentence you had once repeated came softly back without a sound. You were the last thing on my mind until the night became too still. Then every quiet part remembered what I thought the years had healed. You were the last thing on my mind, and suddenly the first. Some memories do not ask permission, they only wait for room. You are the last thing on my mind, not because the love remained, but because a life can keep an echo long after it has changed. You were the last thing on my mind, and then the morning came. The morning looked the same as always. The kettle warmed, the floorboard spoke. A pale blue sky above the rooftops, a folded coat, a cup of toast. But something in the room had loosened, like a knot no longer pulled. Forgiveness did not change the story, it only changed the weight. On the morning after forgiveness, the world did not begin again, but I could breathe without returning to every place the hurt had been. On the morning after forgiveness, the silence felt like peace. I did not feel completely certain or suddenly forget the past. I only stopped rehearsing answers for questions no one had to ask. The door was still the same old color, but opening it felt new. On the morning after forgiveness, the world did not begin again, but I could breathe without returning to every place the hurt had been. On the morning after You never tried to change my nature or make me someone I was not. You only asked a better question when I had nearly lost the thought. You made me slower with my anger and kinder with the things I knew. Love did not erase my edges. It taught me how to use them well. I was better with you. Not perfect, not completely new, but more willing to be patient, more honest in the things I knew. I was better with you, and some of that is still in me. You showed me how to leave some room before I answered from my pride. You taught me strength could be forgiving, and courage did not have to hide. Even after we grew distant, those lessons stayed beside my life. I was better with you, not perfect, not completely new, but more willing to be patient, more honest in the things I knew. I was better with you, and some of that is still in me. What we gave was not all lost. Some love becomes a way of living. I was better with you, and now I try to keep it true. In the way I choose compassion, in the things I say and do. I was better with you, and I am grateful that I We always left the door half open and called it kindness when we stayed. One more question, one more story, one more reason to delay. ask if you had time. We knew the ending every time, but never learned to make it clean. We were never good at goodbye. We let the silence turn around. We found 100 little reasons to keep our footsteps in the house. We were never good at goodbye, even when goodbye was right. We tried to speak like careful strangers and keep the past outside the room. But then your laughter found its old place, and mine remembered what to do. For a moment, nothing changed. Then the hour made us honest. We were never good at goodbye. We let the silence turn around. We found 100 little reasons to keep our footsteps in the house. We were never good at goodbye, even when goodbye was right. Some endings hurt because they fail, and some because they must succeed. We were never good at goodbye, but this time I will let it stand. No turning back to fill the doorway, no final reaching for your hand. We were never good at goodbye, but tonight we finally were. I heard your name in conversation from someone passing through my town. They said you moved beyond the coastline and built a quieter life somehow. I did not ask for every detail. Some things are kinder left unknown. But after all these years between us, one wish remained the same. I hope you found your way to somewhere that could hold you, to people who could see your heart and love the things days became more gentle, and sleep came easier at night. I hope you stopped apologizing for needing room and needing time. I hope the dreams you rarely mentioned were given somewhere safe to grow. I hope you found your way to somewhere that could hold you, to people who could see your heart and love the things I once misunderstood. I hope you found your way and learned to call it home. Not every love is meant to follow. Some are meant to wish us well. I hope you found your way, and if you ever think of me, remember not the final distance, but the kindness in between. I hope you found your way, and I am finding mine. Mm.